Alright, so let's have a go at getting this little hopper a little bit quicker. So now last year in the Speedrun challenge we ran the obviously the MF01X. We reached 41 point something miles an hour with the LRP 12 double and the high speed gears and a 22 tooth pinion. But before that we were running the Tamiya Superstock BZ, and I think we got 32 or 34. I can't really remember. I'll have to look back in the videos. So what I want to try is we've had our 21 tooth Mod 8 pinion turn up. We have our bearings, we have our adjustable motor mount. So I want to try, well, I'm not going to try, I'm going to do it. I'm going to fit the Superstock BZ in this car with the 1060, which is what we ran in the MF01X last year, and 21 tooth pinion, which last year we had a 22, but yeah, minimal difference. And just see if just notice there, these high quality Hornet shocks are leaking. Oh, isn't that lovely? Alright, I just want to see if there's any real speed difference with a similar setup in a completely different car. So that's what we're going to do in this video, is fit all of this into that, and we're also going to get rid of this end blade here. So what do I do first? Right, I'm going to take the gearbox out and take the motor out, and I'll show you how I think I'm going to measure up and fit the pinion gear. So our diff is out, obviously, and our torque tube motor is out. Now, I think a lot of you probably know by now, the 21 tooth pinion doesn't actually fit through the hole in the gearbox. So you need to take the gearbox apart to fit the pinion onto the motor when it's in two pieces, and then slap it all together. Don't know how fiddly that's going to be, but it's what needs to happen, because obviously we're not allowed to Dremel out the hole to fit the pinion. So let's get this transmission apart. Everybody should know by now, it's pretty simple. On the Grasshopper / Hornet, / that other weird thing that used the Grasshopper chassis. I forget what that was called. Weird looking body on it though. Okay, so yeah, pull that apart. Yeah, you can see that bronze bushing in there. That's one of the reasons why we had to do this, because I ended up getting a full bearing set for it, but I want to replace all the bearings, because, well, why not? So let's just take everything apart. I'm going to do this on a rag so I don't get grease all over my bench. So yes, we have pop that end bearing out. Now these bearings I'm taking out are probably fine. I'm going to keep them for spares for another car if we need them, but since I've got new bearings I'm going to put new ones in anyway. So might as well do these bearings now. Now my little trick to why do they make these things so small? And I've just got grease all over my fingers, I can't open the back. Right. Great scissors. I'll throw these in the parts bin over here. So I'm just going to put a standard 1150 on the inside. Now to take out that end play in the axles we had, I have, where did I put them? Some of you might have seen these before. Same size bearing, 1150s, but they're flanged. Got a 1mm flange on one side. We actually use these to lock the diff in this grasshopper actually. I'm actually going to take that video down eventually, I think, because it wasn't a very good idea. Won't go into that now. So I can all go back together now. You can see that flange bearing. Yeah, it just comes out a little bit. It's just going to take up a little bit of that. End play. It's probably not a lot, but it's taken some of it out. So guess you could probably use a 5mm washer in there, or 5mm spacer or something, if you wanted to take a bit more of that end play or end float out. Okay, so that's pretty much all we need to do to that side, except fit our motor, isn't it? Now, kind of making this up as I go along, but this adjustable motor mount, let's just get these parts out here, see what we're dealing with. There's been a lot of talk about these motor mounts, a lot of questions on how they work, how they fit together. This particular one actually came with a clear window so you can see your pinion mesh. Don't know if it's got any. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's got a protective film on it, so you peel that off, it'll be nice and clear. So this part here, they're calling it the P1, this will bolt to the motor itself with this 3x5 countersunk screw. Now this is showing something a little different here. It's showing this screw going straight through and multiple holes onto a nut. I don't think that's how it works. Are these actually... well, the hex hardware too, nice. Okay. So let's get this one bolted on first. Oh, this is going to affect our pinion depth, isn't it? Okay, so our pinion depth was 15.5. This plate looks like 2mm. It's a tad under 2mm. So that'll set our pinion depth to 13.5. I think, yes. So this part here joins onto the gearbox thusly. You can see one hole's got a countersink in it, and you have a long countersunk screw. So that obviously is not a very good fit either. That needs to these screw heads are sticking out of the plate there, which is not letting it clamp together quite as it should. So I'm going to see what I can do about that. I do have a countersink downstairs in the shed, and by the looks of all that chatter in there, it looks like they've just countersunk it with a drill bit. I could be wrong, but we do need to try and fix that. Okay, so I'm going to get that fixed and we'll come back. Okay, so I just ran a countersink into this hole here. Now this screw head fits nice and flat inside that alloy part, and I also ran a countersunk into this one a little bit too, so that now you can see they actually come together. So that was an easy fix. And when I tightened this screw up, I actually ran the other screw in just to locate the thread, and then did that one up tight, because if that's a little bit off, you get this one up tight, you get everything together, you're going to struggle getting that screw in there, so keep that in mind. Now if this gets too fiddly and I start wanting to swear a little bit, I'm going to probably do it off camera and then bring you back and explain how I did it. But as I was saying earlier, we had a lot of talk and a lot of questions about this adjustable motor mount. It's the first time I've ever used one, even seen one. I never knew they existed for the Hornet. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, as usual. Now, the actual hole in the adjustable motor mount is too small for the pinion as well. So whether you were allowed to you know, grind out the gearbox or not, you still would have had to grind out the motor mount, and I think it's just going to be easier to set everything okay. So what I need to do, see, we know our pinion needs to be 15.5 mil off the surface of the motor. We've got 2 mil in this plate. I reckon we've got 2 mil in that plate as well, plus whatever this gear case is, which looks about 2 mil. 6 millimeters, so what's that make? Give us 9.5. Now this is going to be fiddly. The other question is, am I actually going to get to that grub screw? I got that pretty close first go, I think. Okay, that's all just sort of sitting there flopping around like an untrained seal at the moment. What I might do is just set these two halves back together temporarily without everything falling apart on me. We'll have to go through there. Okay, that's our gearbox halves together. Now, I don't know if you can see in there, but our pinion mesh is way off. That's got to come forward at least another 3 millimeters. Now, the other question is, are we going to have enough motor shaft to do that? I certainly hope so. This is fiddly, so if your patience level is pretty low with this sort of stuff, I'd probably either give it a miss or just enter open class so you can just cut stuff apart and make things fit. Alright, let's try this again. Hopefully without, I might just take that center differential out. We don't really need it in there just yet. All we're doing is trying to set pinion mesh. That's the halves together. That looks a lot better. Could probably go a little bit more, couldn't it? So something else I'm going to do. Actually going to measure this, the width of this pinion, which is a tad under 6 millimeters. I'm going to measure this spur gear, which is 5.5 millimeters. Okay, so we'll slide this pinion out just a little bit more. Be careful you don't go too far. Okay, that looks a lot better. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I am just going to replace all those bearings and when you come back we should have these halves together and the rest of this adjustable motor mount sorted. So give me a couple of secs. Okay, obviously I haven't finished putting it together yet, but I've seen a couple of people, or at least one, get caught out on this. Don't forget this spacer. That spacer is there. Obviously I'll put the ball bearings in. So that spacer is there so that that bevel gear doesn't run hard up against that spur gear. Don't forget that spacer, very important. And also don't forget your center pin in the differential, because that's when things start, as they're turning this way, they start moving around this way. So it doesn't do your gears much good at all. So that is our transmission back together. So all we need to do, so we have our clear window that I've taken the protective film off, so it's nice and clean and easy to see. Now this one goes, you've got a couple of steps here. According to the instructions, those little steps face down. So now we have to line all this up. Try to line all this up. Okay, so just give that inner plate a bit of a spin until you can sort of see down in there. Okay, our screw is through that first plate. You just need to line up the hole in the actual motor plate. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so this is only a 21 tooth pinion. Can you see we're matched up there, but we're just about out of adjustment anyway. So yeah, I'm glad this was cheap, because I don't know if there's much else you maybe a 22 or 23. I don't know how. I mean, that's at full like full adjustment. That's, I know you guys can't see. Let me get some light on here. There we go. Now at a full adjustment, it's still touching the teeth. So I don't know how much bigger of a pinion you're going to be able to fit in there anyway. So I'm going to go with that gear mesh. Hopefully it's alright. Okay, so that's something else that's quite silly. Alright, so you've got to hold the screw for this nut. You have to hold that with your Allen driver. And now I can't get to it. Okay, so this is why I'm doing all this on camera. It's for all you guys, including me, who haven't used this particular product before. So hopefully, with me making all these mistakes, you guys won't have so much trouble with yours, if you indeed decide to use one. Alright, so that's tightened up there now. Now I've got to find this hole again. Alright, and we're straight in this time. Cool. Okay, so now we just have this little, about 8mm long screw. Just to think, I've got to do this all again when we put the LRP motor in. This is just for a bit of a trial, bit of an experiment, basically. See what speed we can get with this setup. as opposed to the MFO1X last year. So let me just put these drive hubs back on, because I want to fire this motor up and give it a test and make sure everything's spinning properly. Just with the 3 volts and being the high turn motor, 3 volts isn't quite enough to get it going. So you got to give it a bit of a kickstart. Keystart Maha. If you know, you know. And straight away that feels and sounds terrible. Why? Okay, something's gone horribly wrong there. Okay, I'll come back. Okay, so all sorted. That noise, I don't know if you actually heard it, but it was actually the pinion hitting up against the bosses inside for the screws, like the cross tubes inside. I tried opening up the pinion mesh and it got worse, so I just closed it just that tiny bit, and we're all hooked up. Or we were all hooked up. That sounds just fine. So it is a very close fit in there with that 21 tooth pinion. But it is in there. And it's a decent mesh, I think. You can see in there. Probably could go a little tighter, couldn't it? I'll give that a go. I just wonder if that's gonna... I wonder if the pinion's just found a sweet spot in between those two cross tubes. So if we take it in a little tighter, like that. Yeah, listen to that. Yeah, that sounds bloody awful. So I think there is no gap in that mesh at all. So a little looser. It's all just trial and error. Yeah, sounds a lot better, and that mesh looks pretty good. Okay, so there is a very long-winded, actually looking at that, I said earlier those 2 steps in this plate face down. I was actually looking at the instructions, but that's obviously for the frog or the ORV chassis, so they actually sit that way. There you go. So that sounds nice and smooth. All greased up, all new bearings, and a half dead battery. So I think that's all we were going to do in this video. So let me get this differential back in and we'll have a look at it. Right, so all back together. You would have seen I've got the wheelie bar off the lunchbox, Midnight Pumpkin, so on and so forth. I've actually mounted it upside down just to give it, in case I actually do need it, just to get it closer to the ground. There is a little bit of a limit to this adjustable motor mount. It does hit that cross member there from back in the old days. That's where the resistor went for the mechanical speed controller. But it's reduced our suspension a bit, but I don't think that's going to hurt it in a straight line running car, is it? Gearbox feels nice and smooth. All new bearings, it's lovely. I will replace I might replace the bearings in the front. They're only fairly new, them ones. Right, there you go. Hope we didn't bore you too much with what should have been a straightforward swap, but that is quite fiddly, that motor mount, and we have to do it all again. So our end play here has reduced significantly, so that'll be good. Right, there's the body. We'll tuck this on so it looks a bit pretty. Now, one of our last runs, I did notice the wheel hitting on the flare here of the body. I guess we'll deal with that later on. We're going to take this out for a run in the next couple of days and see what kind of speed we get out of it with the BZ and that 21 tooth pinion. And that'll probably end up being our first official entry for the Speedrun challenge. So I don't know how long this video is going to be, because we won't know until we edit it, which is going to be. So again, thanks for watching, thanks for your support. Hope you got some information out of that. I know I did. And we'll see you on a run video.
$30.5.